All right. Good morning, people of Earth and beyond. My name is Jaslyn, and you are now tuning in to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Today, I am joined by my lovely, lovely host, Tara. Tara, how you doing, girl?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in. I'm a little bit tired, but that's cool. We're gonna do it. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here with you, with Matt, with everybody, and to do the thing. I'm
To
excited.
to do. And like she said, we are joined by our favorite, Stephen Smith, our favorite sportscaster, Matt. How you doing, Matt?
How's it going? How's it going? Excited to be
It's
here.
okay. Like I said, Stephen
Another
A.
great
Smith,
morning.
Stevens who? And then we are also joined by our other contributor, Thomas. Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
All
It's
right. I forgot to
early.
say hi to you when you
Do you
logged
hear
into the
me?
call this morning. That's my bad.
No,
That's
block
perfectly
her.
fine. I just usually have
Oh,
Indefinitely.
respect for
cancel
you.
me.
Just cancel.
You can cancel me.
Um,
It's fine.
all right. So today, we have some interesting stories as when do we not, right? Tara, what we got?
Yes, we're in the national stage. We're talking about President Biden's nomination of Dr. Rachel Levine, a teacher who got caught blogging about his students, the 25 worst movies of all time according to Rotten Tomatoes, and potentially already the strongest meme of 2021 with political tie-ins, and also spinach, which is
Spinach.
emailing people. Spinach. Yeah, I should have just left it at that, right? And also spinach.
I
Period.
mean, we have such a great lineup. I'm like, I don't know how we can top this. What's it called? So, first up, we are going to give you guys a little bit of the news. What's going on in your neighborhood? A little Mr. Rogers action.
Mr. Rogers action. I don't have a
Uh,
sweater though.
we need to
It's
get you that.
somewhere else.
All right, so Tara, let us know what's going on with COVID-19. Like, what's happening? What are some updates with the vaccinations? What am I seeing?
Well, this is more of a personal safety thing, but according to NJ.com, do not share your COVID-19 vaccine card on social media. Sharing your COVID-19 vaccination card, side note, that's the little paper card you get after you get your first shot so you can go back for your second, on social media could make you vulnerable to identity theft, the Better Business Bureau said. People excited about getting their vaccines have been taking selfies with the card and posting it on Facebook and Instagram and other platforms. Unfortunately, your card has your full name and birthday on it, as well as information about when you got your shot. The Better Business Bureau said if your social media privacy settings aren't high, you may be giving valuable information away for anyone to use. Short story long, don't post pictures of the card. It's a piece of identity. Treat it like a piece of ID, like I don't know, like a license or something. Like people could use that information and get access to you and your stuff and pretend to be you, right?
Mhm.
So don't mess around with that stuff. If you are fortunate enough to have gotten the first round of the vaccine, and by the way, you should all sign up for the vaccine, then just keep the card to yourself. You can still tweet about it. You can still post about it. Take a
Do
picture of
they give them
yourself.
like stickers? Like, when you went and vote, like I feel like they should give them stickers so people wouldn't be compelled to like take a picture of the actual card. Just be like, instead of I voted,
I got
I
vaccine.
vaccinated.
Yeah, with the little like needle emoji. Yeah.
Exactly. That message was then sponsored by Tara. Yeah, don't post it. All they have is so they do have stickers. All right, I've been just informed they do got stickers. So take a picture with the sticker.
Yeah, seriously.
That's it. Um, all right, next up in the lovely world of our beloved homeland, Jeff Bezos steps down as Amazon CEO. Andy Jassy, the chief executive of Amazon Web Series, will take over as CEO. So this article by NBCnews.com, it was written by Dylan Byers and Latola Miranda, says that Bezos said on Tuesday that he will step down as the chief executive, leaving the helm of the company he founded 27 years ago. All right, he will transition to the role of an executive chair. Um, that's on July 1st, that the company said. In a memo, he said that it will give him the quote, time and energy he needs to focus the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, and my other passions. Um, Apparently, the announcement set off alarm bells on Wall Street and the business community. The transition did not necessarily portend SAT word, any significant change to Amazon's business. So it's looking like after almost 30 years as that Mr. Bezos founded the company. He's trying to chill. He's looking to live the
Watch
retired
the
life.
movie Full Metal Jacket.
No, what's it? What is?
It's a Vietnam War movie, but they got a drill sergeant in that movie. Jeff Bezos looks like if you took that guy's face and like drew it on an egg,
Oh my gosh!
like a hard boiled egg.
Time out. You
That's
are
what he
on
looked
time.
like.
You are on timeout.
Okay,
That's just what's good. Yeah, time in the corner. All
I'm
right.
sorry.
All right. Now remember when I said, Mr. Rogers, what's going on in your neighborhood? Snow is going on in my neighborhood. But what about you, Tara? How is
Yeah,
it looking?
I spent. Can I talk or am I still on timeout?
No, you can talk now. Your
Okay,
punishment's over
thank you,
here.
thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
It snowed a lot over the past 2 days. Today, it's looking like it's only going to go up to 37. It's 28 right now, and cloudy. I spent most of yesterday shoveling, and I low key love snow. So
You
might be.
shoveled? I don't know her.
You don't know her, honey, honey,
I don't know
honey,
her.
honey. How is it by you?
Snow and very white around the area. But luckily, like I said, shoveling. Don't know her.
honey. We don't know her over.
We don't know
She
her.
can't sit with us.
Can't relate.
Okay, go ahead, Matt. How's it looking over by you?
It's very cold. I went to my car this morning, like I said, to move my car from the driveway or from the street to the driveway, and I regretted it. I was only out there for probably 2 minutes at most, and for half of that, I was in my car, but it was so cold.
He said, I was outside for 2 minutes. For half of the 2 minutes, I was inside of something.
Yeah,
And I'm still
It's that
full
cold.
of regret.
It's that cold.
Sure.
I even mentioned I want to go to Florida. Like, come on.
Yeah, imagine how desperate you have to be to want to go to Florida.
Like on purpose.
Right. People don't want to be in Florida. They end up in Florida.
Oh my gosh. Dear God.
But anyway, that's the news of the day. Don't take pictures of your private info and put it online. And if you're Jeff Bezos, have fun, I guess.
That's
Wow.
really, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can say. Just have fun. In the world of sports,
Bahamas, come on.
yeah, go buy an island and hang out there. I don't know. Matt, in the world of sports, what is going on?
Well, welcome to the 2-minute warning for February 3rd. We'll start off by getting into some news around the various leagues. First up, in the MLB, former New York Met manager Mickey Callaway has been suspended from the Los Angeles Angels after 5 women have accused Callaway of inappropriate behavior in work and sports media. Superstar third baseman Nolan Arenado has been officially traded to the Cardinals from the Colorado Rockies. In the NBA, the league is working to strengthen mask rules for players as part of tightening the health and safety protocols. The plan includes all players needing to wear a KN95 or a KF94, as well as setting a cool down area for players that leave the court and want to catch their breath. And then once they're got their breath, then they go back to the bench and have to put on their mask. A deal is also being progressed for the annual All-Star game to be played on March 7th in Atlanta this year. The NBA originally postponed the game that was set to be in February in Indianapolis. So now that this will not happen this year, Indiana will host the 2024 All-Star game. The Nets squeezed out a good win last night, defeating a top West team, the Los Angeles Clippers, 124-120. The Knicks will play tonight in Chicago to take on the Bulls. It must be freezing there. In the NHL, both the Devils game and the Islander games have been postponed to a later date as the global pandemic continues to wreak havoc across all sports. And finally, in the NFL, the highly expected Super Bowl between Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs is just 4 days away. According to Fanatics, Tom Brady is breaking records off the field as well, as his jersey is the best-selling jersey ever over a 2-week period leading up to the Super Bowl. And then on this day in 2008, the New York Giants and Eli Manning beat the New England Patriots and Tom Brady in Super Bowl 42.
Like I said.
Hey, bonus, by the way, since we're not on FM right now because we can't get into the studio and we're only on Facebook Live. Hi, Facebook Live. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. I could say Super Bowl, and you can't stop me. That's because you can't say Super Bowl on FM because it's a trademarked word.
I
We're
was
on the
just about to
internet.
ask that.
Yup, you can't say Super Bowl on FM radio usually. You can sometimes, but most of the time you can't because the NFL bought up some words because I guess when you're that big a company, that's just what you do.
Why not?
But we're not there. So Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super
The
Bowl,
big
Super Bowl,
game.
Super Bowl,
I'm
Super Bowl,
dead.
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, and you
I
can't
feel
stop me, Roger Goodell. That's it.
I feel like they should record Tara's voice. She's going Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
And then just when we go to, if we ever re-air this on air, just be like,
It's
just
gonna
like the
be.
beep.
I'm telling you, it's gonna go viral. And
What's
you're just
up,
gonna be like,
Roger
what?
Goodell? How you doing? Yeah. But that's that. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. Shouts out. I know there's a couple people in the NHL who have been dealing with COVID stuff. There's a guy on the Rangers who's immunocompromised and he's dealing with it. So I hope he does well. All stupid rivalries aside, nobody deserves to deal with that. So I hope y'all do okay. And God bless,
That's it.
All right.
All right, T. Now we're on to the news stories. Tara,
Yes.
what's going on first?
The first thing that I wanted to talk about, first off, we pulled a couple of these stories last week because we linked up to do the script and we pulled
Tell about it.
all of these. We're like
In one
we did
sitting.
a practice. We did a practice last week. That's why we linked up to do that script. And then we're like, okay, we could do this. Now I want to save it for air. Now we can do this, so we want to save it for air. So we have this script was like done in 20 minutes.
In like 15, 20 minutes. We were like, okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
That was wild. But this is something, this is probably the most heavy duty story that we're talking about. This means a lot to me personally. This is from NBC. This report is from NBCnews.com. President Biden nominates Dr. Rachel Levine as one of, if not the first transgender woman to hold high office in the United States. This is from the NBC write-up. President Joe Biden made history January 19th when he announced the nomination of Dr. Rachel Levine to be his assistant health secretary. If approved, she would be the first openly trans federal office official just like words just don't.
I think,
That's what just happened. Take two. If approved, she would be the first openly transgender federal official confirmed by the U.S. Senate. The choice of Levine, a pediatrician, and most recently Pennsylvania's Secretary of Health, who earned high marks for her role in leading the state's coronavirus response, was celebrated by a number of health groups, elected officials, and LGBTQ advocacy organizations. End quote. This is just something that makes me happy, as a trans woman and as somebody who, not just that though, like as somebody who is, concerned about the high leadership in this country not taking the global pandemic seriously for the past 4 years. And that's not anything one way or the other. That's my perception of how things have been going, is that it hasn't been taken seriously. So to see people getting appointed who do understand the gravity of it and who have even when the highest office was not telling them to, that's a huge deal. And I think that's a step in the right direction. And also, as a trans woman, like, this kind of thing never happens. You know what I mean? Like, this never happens. Like, we're at best, we're the type of people that are seen as, not having broad enough appeal to run for these offices. And at worst, we're openly discriminated against. And the article from NBC News gets into that later. How a Republican lawmaker from Pennsylvania, State Representative Jeff Pyle, related to Gomer Pyle, authorized a Facebook group mocking Levine's appearance and never actually apologized. Except
at your big age.
Hate
to see it.
Yeah. Maybe we should look up what Jeff Pyle looks like since he wants to talk about appearances.
Let's not do that,
No?
Tara. No.
Oh, I just figured since he was so interested in the conversation, like
I mean, we can, for research purposes, we can figure out what he looks like.
okay, we could for research purposes since he wants to talk about appearances. And again, this has nothing to do with the story, but since you want to talk about, what people look like, let me go to your website.
No tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade. Your comb over looks like it was copied and pasted on from a photo from like the 50s.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. Your face kind of looked like that one character from Doctor Who that was just skin stretched between a bunch of ropes and was like, moisturize me. I think that's what you look like right now. You look like you got beat with the ugly stick. Boy, that tie is ugly. You look like you're the type of person that slaps people on the back and says, good job, son. And I don't like you. Your picture looks like it was taken at like a school, like a school photo day when they put that cheesy background behind you and they're like, what color do you want? That's what you look like right now. Your suit looks cheaper than you, and you could probably brush your teeth every now and again. It would do you good. And also just wear like a paper bag over your face. I think it would help quite a lot with your image, since you want to talk about how people look in a public space where this shouldn't even be an issue. But you wanted to do that. So anyway.
This was her calm, y'all. I just want to let you know. This was the PG version of that. I'm pretty sure I'll ask for the R version later.
That's gonna go on our WMSC paid only service where you could pay for the non FCC version. I'm kidding. That's not gonna ever be a thing.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm like, let me not.
No, that's never.
It's gonna be on our OF. I was like, it's gonna be on our OF.
It's gonna be.
What you can hear.
That's exactly. I was trying to dance around like that.
It's gonna be on our OF.
But that's just dealing with the negativity in an amusing way. But like on a serious note, this is huge.
Don't be rude. Just don't be rude to people.
Don't be rude. But like that negativity aside, this is a huge deal. This Dr. Levine's name is going to be next to people like Harvey Milk and people.
What is with these names?
No, Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk is a hugely important person. The first openly gay official to hold high office. He was a big deal, but to see a trans person getting recognized, I realize I've been kind of monologuing with this one, but it's it's important to me.
And it's personal to you.
Yeah, this is the type, and I'm sorry if I am, but this is the type of thing that to see people recognizing us on a stage, like that we're to come from an administration that was literally passing legal action against us to this is just it's mind-blowing,
in a short time too.
Right. And so I applaud Dr. Levine. I applaud President Biden for seeing past gender identity and recognizing someone who is doing a good job.
Just period. Yeah, and don't ever apologize for getting overly excited when I'm pretty sure if similar circumstances with me, I'll be even more excited. Like I won't even apologize. I'll just be like, okay, so this is the dealio. It is what is. Okay. But good. No, honestly, shout out to her. She's doing an amazing job. We are looking forward to seeing what Dr. Rachel Levine has in store for us. So yeah, shout out to her. All right, next up, okay, guys, please listen to this very carefully. This is an article by walesonline.co.uk, and it titles this, teacher wrote, hold on, I don't know, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Okay, teacher wrote anonymous gossip blog describing pupils as, quote, transhuman Kardashian clones. Now let's dissect this really quickly. This is a teacher. Please. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at his face. Okay.
Speaking of talking about how people look,
I'm looking at his face, and he looks like he hasn't brushed his teeth in 3 days. Since you want to call children transhuman Kardashian clones.
This gets better. Get into the story, right? Because the setup for this.
So in the article by Wales Online, it reads, a teacher was caught writing an anonymous gossip blog about his school saying Kardashian clone girls shopped online in class and boys snorted cocaine at their end of year prom. A hearing was told on Tuesday.
That's a
Alexander,
quote.
that's a quote, yes. Alexander Price, 43, is accused of offending pupils, parents, and colleagues at Denbigh High School with his mystery blog under the fictitious name of, quote, the provoked pedagogue.
Okay. All right. That sounds like that's your Reddit username, bro.
A grown man. All right. So as we delve further into this, the title of one of his articles titled The Problem with Prom, Mr. Price called the event, quote, a shallow, though vacacious affair, SAT word, about nothing more than who has spent the most on looking nice, end quote. He said girls often ended up looking like a cross between, quote, Eastern European prostitutes and transhuman Kardashian clones, end quote. Tara, please, before I dive in, I need to hear what you have to say about this.
I don't know whether I should be offended or not. I can't really tell what this guy's getting at. I I I can't. The next line though is my favorite.
Okay, let me read this.
Go ahead.
Investigator James Wood read the blog, which described children as, quote, shameless chicken fillets shoved into criminally expensive and ill-fitting gowns, end quote,
That's my favorite line.
of the entire article. We're gonna get that on a t-shirt.
Shameless
and there's
chicken-filled fillets.
I'm sorry. There's just so many candid moments. I just have to read them all.
Right.
Mr. Price also said, quote, literacy so poor, they cannot read the instructions on sachets of brown goop that leak into every pore. I think this man
What?
just hates kids.
I think this guy's in the wrong line of work.
I would read more because there's just too many like picture perfect moments. What?
This is just wild to me.
And okay, and finally, right, he admits, this is also written by Wales Online. He admits writing the blogs, but denies they amount to unacceptable professional conduct. Then what the heck do they amount to, Alexander?
What would you describe this as? Like, if not that, like, is this like, no, it's normal for people to go online and insult minors online about in the job they work at. You know, this is normal. My teacher did this.
Matt, it's like a rite of passage. Like, what's going on, Matt? With thoughts,
Oh, yeah.
opinions, concerns.
Like every sentence was like crazier than the last one. It was like
these are bits from an actual blog this man sat there and
this
posted
is a teacher
about children.
Yeah.
I'm speechless about it.
Matt's face is just like no words. It's like okay, now the joking aside, this is disgusting. You are a grown man calling young girls Eastern European prostitutes and telling young men that they snort coke. I don't know if you can smoke coke. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
But apparently this man is also saying that I think he just hates prom because most of these are from prom.
Yeah. I think this guy got like dumped at a prom or something and it just stuck with him.
So like I watch a TV show, right? One of these criminal TV shows. Fill in the blanks. And
wait, like about real crimes or like
no, it's like something similar to like law. I didn't know if I was allowed to say TV show names on here. That's why I was like,
yeah, you totally can.
Okay,
just not the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. So I watch Criminal Minds, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the premise is to figure out the thought process of a serial killer.
I'm on season.
Oh, yay. If you want season 13 through 15, it's on Hulu, Matt. So, I mean, if you want anybody else, I mean, it's a good show to me. But, yeah, they basically try to find the amazing TV. They try to figure out the mindset of like a serial killer. And, this sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds, except there would be more like blood, less, And basically it's like they would give his backstory like, a Caucasian male between the ages of 30 and 40. and he got dumped at prom. That's exactly
That's
what
it.
happened here. And his date was a beautiful imitation of the Kardashians. And now, because he has a sour taste in his mouth, they now look like Eastern European prostitutes. Like, you are a grown man. You are calling kids, quote, the ugly end of society where only the rich has value and everyone else has to emulate, end quote. It's a bunch of kids who are excited to get dressed up for prom.
Yeah. And like, if you like, don't get me wrong, there are spaces where like we should be having conversations about the pressure on kids to look a certain way and the pressure that social media puts on, and the pressure to change who you are and change
Mm-hmm.
what you look like. That's toward whatever standards of beauty are, and how those standards of beauty change, and borrow things from different cultures and different people. Like, all of those are conversations that could be had. This is none of those things.
I think there's the people, his students look more attractive than he does, to be honest with you.
And he's mad.
And he's upset.
I don't understand. Like, how did you? And my favorite thing is that he's like, "Nah, you shouldn't fire me for this. This is fine."
It's different. I mean, it'd be more creepy. What were you saying, Matt? I'm sorry.
No, he was definitely like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, like, you guys don't do this. Like, go online and
talk smack about children.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, you need to be in jail, sir. Alexander Price. I hope you hear this. Maybe not, because you live in Wales, but if you do,
yeah. If you listen to college radio in the United States,
some people do that.
They do.
So if you happen to listen to college radio, then we coming for you. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do that.
College radio is one of those things where like everybody's like, nobody listens, but like, and then you run into like somebody who's like, oh yeah, I heard that, or you get like a letter from someone somewhere who's like, yo, we have you on here, or whatever. It does happen.
Shout out to all the college radio stations, but no more giving Mr. Price attention, because that man's disgusting. Ugh.
We need to take a deep cleansing breath after that.
My hands. Wash my ears after hearing.
Right?
Like, no, Matt, if you really look at it's just different sound bites. I mean, it's not sound bites, just different, like, it just, I wanted to sit there and read the whole thing because it was just more and more wild as the article went on. But we take up the whole hour that we have, the precious hour.
We could go, but we have another story. This is from Rotten Tomatoes by way of mentalfloss.com. And if any of you, if our entertainment contributor Thomas wants to jump in, Matt, if you want to jump in, obviously, Jazz, if you want to jump in.
That's what I'm here for, man.
They put the 25 worst movies of all time.
It's of all time, y'all. Not just like 2020, the past 10, like ever.
They said it. They set the record down. Although, I mean, I feel like if you wanted to, you could go back further, because the oldest movie is 1983.
Oh yeah, you can definitely go back for. Dang.
Yeah.
That's bad. If the oldest they got is in the 80s.
Yeah, this is not a good indicator of the state of Hollywood. Maybe that's why they keep remaking everything. But this. Oh, and the highest Rotten Tomatoes score, by the way, of any of these movies is 3%.
Yeah, like all of these have 0.
These are all zeros. But here's the thing, right? Maybe you guys can help out with this. I haven't heard of a lot of these movies.
Staying Alive is on here?
Yeah.
It's a common theme.
They put Staying Alive on here.
I've only actually seen one of these movies.
Which one is that?
Look Who's Talking Now.
Yeah, the one about the inner monologue of babies with like Bruce Willis and stuff.
Yeah,
I liked that movie.
This one, Look Who's Talking Now, this is the one where instead it's the dogs that are talking.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I watched it when I was like really little, like 6 or 7, so I thought it was great. Haven't seen it since. It probably sucks.
Fair enough.
That's really bad.
That's totally valid.
It's like a fever dream. Speaking of fever dreams,
so let's go down the list.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh, if you want to talk about fever dreams, we could do that too. But
no, it's okay. That's a medical
that's a different story for a different day. Let's go down from the top. I don't recognize a lot of these. I'll point out, whatever I do know, which is not much. Ballistic X versus Sever from 2002. I have no idea. Do any of you know what that is?
No.
Yeah.
One Missed Call from 2008.
Nope.
Nope.
0%. No.
1,000 Words from 2012.
That's an Eddie Murphy movie. I remember the trailers came out for it.
Okay.
If I
Never heard of it.
remember correctly,
Sounds more familiar than the first two.
if I remember correctly, Eddie Murphy's character is a man that talks a lot.
Oh, I remember. Oh,
So
yeah.
he only has 1,000 words left.
Oh,
And then he
yeah.
can't speak anymore.
I've seen it. It wasn't that bad.
You don't think it was this bad?
Wait, this guy had 1,000 words left to live?
It was one of those movies that's supposed to like teach you a lesson at the end of
Yeah,
it.
not left to live, but I just think he has 1,000 words left to say, and that he can't speak for the rest of his
Anymore.
life.
Yeah.
Contractions count. Is that 2 words or 1 word?
You see, you're asking the important questions here.
These are
Guess
the
we gotta
type of
watch
things
the
that
movie.
movies like this leave you thinking about.
We're gonna have a watch party like, later, and we're gonna dissect it.
Movies
Go
that
ahead,
say
Sarah.
1,000
1,000
words.
words left. I'd probably be like Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, Super Bowl for make sure bowl landed on the 999th word, and then the last one is just bye. The next movie is Gotti, which I don't know if any of you remember this. This was when John Travolta was cast to play John Gotti.
What?
I remember that. I haven't seen it, but I just saw memes.
Oh, this is a remake, the 2018 version.
Yeah, we're with, and I can't stress this enough, John Travolta as John Gotti.
John Travolta from Greece, y'all, and
Yeah, the Scientologist.
that's who we're talking about.
I've heard very bad things, very, very bad things.
As have I.
man
Pinocchio
is-
2002.
No, not on purpose.
Never on purpose. Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2 from 2004.
I think I've seen the first one.
You seen the first Super Babies?
Yeah. It wasn't, I mean, I guess because it was corny. Like, it wasn't like a cinematic masterpiece. Like, it's a corny film, but like, it's cute. It's
Right.
endearing.
Okay, I can get with that.
Yeah.
National Lampoon's Gold Diggers 2004.
How many National Lampoon movies are they gonna make?
Are they all with like Chevy Chase, or does it
Bro,
rotate?
I'm pretty sure because it's like they have the National Christmas, they got the Family Vacation. It was too much.
Here's another one. To what Saba said, I've heard bad things. I've heard very bad things about him. The Last Days of American Crime from 2020. I didn't see any movies in 2020.
Like Thomas and Matt are just like, I don't know what you're talking
I've
about.
never heard.
I'm reading this and I don't know what I'm talking about.
They're like,
I've never
what are
seen
you
any
saying?
of these. Jaws: The Revenge
What the heck?
from 87. The Ridiculous Six from 2015. Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star, 2011. Dark
Hey, that got
Crimes.
3%.
That one had a 3%. It was, I was just gonna say. That one was
This is
3%.
true. That's the overachiever of this list. Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star, is the only non-zero movie on Rotten Tomatoes on this list.
Not just he's not a star, but he's like a light bulb in the.
Yeah, he's like a solid flashlight.
He's like
Yes.
born to be a star.
He's the phone
Yeah.
flashlight when you need to look for something real quick.
No, you know what he is. I'll take that one step further. Before there was a flashlight function. He's when you used to keep your screen real bright just so you could see around a little bit. That's what he is.
Struggle.
Oh gosh.
That was real. Dark Crimes 2018, London Fields 2018, Stratton 2018, The Nutcracker 3D 2010. I don't understand how you could be that bothered over The Nutcracker.
In
in
3D.
3D.
No, maybe that was it.
I'm going to watch The Nutcracker in 3D.
That's a movie. That's a solid movie where you're just like, nothing else to do tonight. I
Like-
feel like
That's like
You
if
know
you
how
have a kid or you're babysitting.
You know when you went to go see 3D movies, but there was always the option to watch it not in 3D. Do you not get that option for the Nutcracker in 3D?
it's like,
I
no,
think
you're
they
gonna
don't.
watch it in 3D.
Hmm.
If you weren't on FM, I would have made a different joke. Return to the Blue Lagoon. I don't know what that is. Problem Child, Wagons East, Three Strikes, Shadow Conspiracy, Cabin Fever, Red Line, Mac and Me, Look Who's Talking Now. I think that's the only movie on this list. One of the few movies on this list we could confirm that one of us has seen.
Look Who's Talking Now. This sounds so familiar.
Is the one
John
You said-
Travolta's also in that.
Oh my gosh, so John Travolta, what is going on with you? Like, after your Grease days, were you just like called quits, or like what was going on?
Yeah. And then they put Staying Alive as the last one.
Why does that sound like what's it called? Is that from like Saturday Night Fever?
I think.
I think isn't it a sequel or something?
Dear
Or-
God, they made a sequel.
I just looked it up. It's a sequel. Saturday Night Fever.
Dear God, they made a sequel to Saturday Night Fever
Yeah, and it was the 80s and they were making a disco movie.
on purpose.
Sylvester Stallone wrote it and directed it. The Saturday Night Fever. Not Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. My bad. But
Amanda said, "Where's Cats? Cats should definitely be on here." They had to. It
Cats.
was so bad. They had to take everything down and re-edit the whole thing.
Yeah. Cats the Cats from like 2 years ago should definitely be up there. The filmed on stage version I'm cool with. That
Of
one's
course.
fine. Because it's literally just the play filmed. But that CGI abomination, Infomnia, is not. We don't talk about that. That's
I
not.
was so disappointed because it had such a great cast. It had such a great potential. I don't know what was
Yeah.
going on.
Amanda, our producers, hated every second. I
She
know,
should put a
Amanda.
period.
Yeah, I know,
Mhm.
Amanda. You said that like we don't have to like quote you every time you type something in the chat, but this time I want to.
It's like her comments just are hilarious.
This time I want your 2 cents on Cats as we do this. I did see it. I saw it in theaters.
I will be posting an in-depth analysis of Cats, which would have to suffer through because I actually never saw it. So I have to. So I will do you guys.
Right?
You said what?
That was with James Corden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was with all of them. Like Taylor
And
Swift was in it.
Jason Derulo.
Derulo. Idris Elba was in it. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
we had an all-star cast. In
T Swizzle.
that you guys are friends? Is that what you call her?
Yeah. That's what she saved in my phone as.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to double check.
No, I'm kidding. I can't.
Before
say what
people
she saved in
actually
my phone
believe.
as.
I love Tara. Okay. All right. So yeah,
But-
just horrid.
Yeah, no, that movie was not. That's the number 26 of the 25. It's Cats.
26 up to 25. I just peeped what you said. She said there's 25 and then just a bonus. Just for your head top.
runner up Cats. But yeah, no, I'm a little disappointed it wasn't more movies that we've all seen.
Yeah. There should be a better list because there's definitely like the 80s, you know.
Let's
Fever
go
dreams.
round table real quick before we move on. What's the worst movie you've ever seen?
oh, I don't even know.
It was a guilty pleasure of mine until I actually watched it recently. It
What
was
is it?
crap. I forgot the actual name of it, but it's like with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, right? This was after they had done their, Will Grease 1 2 1 2. And they decided to do a film. It was about God wanted to reflood the earth, right? Because he had lost faith in humanity. And it looks like a corny like stage play that a bunch of 6th graders put together and filmed it and edited it themselves. That's the best way. So it's God wants to reflood the earth. Those of you who know the Bible, he flooded it before it restarted. Not a theology lesson here. And they had to find 2 people who were completely hopeless, get them to fall in love, and prove that humanity has been restored. So they
By
get
these 2 people.
Yes, they got a con man who's running away from investors because he makes a bunch of crappy inventions and knickknacks, and get him, which is John Travolta, and get
Naturally.
him to meet the angels. Have to get him to meet Olivia Newton-John's character, and basically at first she despises him. He can't stand her, and then as movies go, they fall in love.
It's called
And then
One of a Kind.
she's a failed actress, and she's also a failed Broadway actress. And it's like, honestly, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm just kind of like, why did I enjoy this?
Right.
Like, I think I was young and, it was I did Grease as a play when I was in, like, the 8th grade, and I had a weird attachment to it because that was, like, my first movie ever, and, you
There's nothing
know,
wrong with Grease. There's nothing wrong
like
with Grease.
yeah, I know, but, like, anything John Travolta was in, I tried to look like Hairspray, him and Hairspray wasn't bad,
No, he
like
did the thing. I mean, I don't know. You have an entire world of drag queens you could have picked from to play a drag role,
like an
like John
actual yeah.
Travolta. But he did the thing. He committed.
When I find the actual name of the film, I will let you guys know.
All two of a kind. I just looked it up.
Two of a Kind, yes, that's exactly what it was disgusting, and then they
So
tried to
I just Googled John Travolta movie about flooding and it came up.
and then it's like they tried to give Olivia Newton-John a career. They tried to, like, provide no offense, no shade, but that, after Let's Get Physical, things just went down.
it's true.
And she sang all of the soundtrack by herself. It was a mess.
It was a mess. What about you? What Matt, Thomas? What about you guys? What's your pick?
So a movie that I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, this is a pretty hot take. Like, it came out last year.
Okay.
King of Staten Island, Pete Davidson. I don't know if you guys saw it. But
I've heard
Oh,
things.
I saw the trailers on YouTube like every single day.
like,
Yep.
it had potential. Like, at points I was like, oh, like, this is pretty good. But like the ending was just like it just stopped. It felt like
Right.
there was like so
Mhm.
much more that they could have done, and then it just like stopped, and I was like I was just so unsatisfied as a viewer that
Right.
I felt like I wasted 2.5 hours of my life because like nothing, that movie did nothing for me.
Wow.
Fair. That's more than fair. Thomas, what about you?
The first movie that comes to mind, I really hate Love Actually, like so much.
Okay.
I see his stance. Like
I can
it's a
see
love-hate
it.
relationship. I definitely see it though.
I can
when,
see it.
when it comes to like those ensemble cast movies that are just like, we're not even gonna try and make a good movie, we're just gonna throw everyone together.
Yeah,
Well,
I know that you're gonna
Cats.
buy tickets on that.
Cats.
Like is cats. But when it comes down to like stuff like that, I think like I also watched Valentine's Day. That's like a guilty pleasure movie of mine.
Right.
I think Valentine's Day just works so much better than Love Actually. It's
I'll
just,
never judge someone for a guilty pleasure movie, but like some
I will.
like oh.
I will because
Maybe
it
next
depends.
week we do guilty pleasure movies.
It depends on what it is. Cause like I love like Thomas. I love those like different storyline films. Cause I like watching things you have to pay attention to because my mind just goes a million a minute. So like things that you actually have to watch. That's why I love Criminal Minds so much. You have to actually pay attention. So it's
Mhm.
like it's those things where it's like, okay, so this person is this person's niece, and then this person's ex-wife, and then they all come together at the end.
Mhm.
yeah, but when Love Actually does that, it's just like
Awful.
everyone's like loosely connected. Some people aren't connected at all, except, oh, I saw that one person at one point in the film for like 2 seconds, and some of the storylines just I didn't care for at all, and they just like throwing it all, especially Andrew Lincoln's storyline with Keira Knightley. That was
He was awful. It wasn't cute. Like
cute at
you're
all.
in, you're in love with your best friend's girl.
I just watched it for the first time last year, and I'm expecting the Andrew Lincoln storyline to be the cutest because of the iconic like scene with.
Exactly.
It wasn't. It was the worst. It was terrible.
Fair.
And that's it. That's my thought
Ocean
on
Gate.
Love Actually.
I'm with you, Thomas.
I think the
100%.
worst. Fair enough. The worst one I've ever like seen myself. I left the second Ghost Rider movie. I dipped. I was just like, we can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Like because the
Damn.
first one is a guilty pleasure movie. The first one I don't like. I don't mind it. It was
Mhm.
okay. You get Nicolas Cage being ridiculous and some
As he
early
does.
2000s CGI, whatever. It's not bad, but the second one,
I can't say I remember the second one very vividly, but I know I did watch it because like I'm a big Marvel guy and big
Mhm.
So am I.
First Light was a dope hero, but I don't think the second one was good.
No,
Embarrassing.
It was bad. Also, honorable mention, even though I never went to see it, I still haven't forgiven M. Night Shyamalan for what he did to Avatar.
Oh, yeah, that was disgusting.
That was unforgivable.
I'd actually like to change my answer to Avatar.
I
The
think
live action
everybody-
Avatar.
The live
Everybody's changing their answers now.
That
We didn't
one
even
was.
think of that.
I still haven't forgiven him. I know people come out like, oh, he did cool stuff with like Glass and Split or whatever. I'm like, I don't care. That was unforgivable.
I forgot that movie
see.
existed. That's how hard I
Mhm.
repressed the memory.
In the
Had to go
spirit
into
of repressing the
hypnosis.
memory.
Kind of sad that now I remember it.
We just
In the
ruined his whole
spirit
day.
In the spirit of repressing the memory, let's move on. Jazz, what we got
Yes,
next?
let's do that. I'm
Can
twitching.
we talk
Okay.
about good movies real quick?
What?
Can we talk about good movies real quick? Because I just wanted to give The Greatest Showman a quick little shout out.
Oh,
So good.
yeah. Shout out to
Fair enough.
That
shout out to
soundtrack with Hugh Jackman, the best.
yeah. I the thing is, I had only seen Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so watching him sing and dance, like I forgot he was like a Broadway kid. So I'm like watching him sing and dance, I was like, what?
Yeah, not only does he do that, he's good at it.
Exactly. So, all right. So, like we said, in the spirit of repressing memories, we're gonna move on to arguably the greatest meme of 2021. This is an article written by USA Today, and it is titled "Bernie Sanders Vermont made mittens worn at Biden's inauguration go viral." All right. So, I had seen this, right? And actually, let's read the article first, and then we'll go. So in the article, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took the national stage Wednesday, officially beginning their tenure as president and vice president of the United States. Senator Bernie Sanders, however, may have stolen the show with his inauguration day look, complete with Vermont-made mints. I'm looking at the picture right now. That's why I'm laughing.
I'm sharing my screen.
People watching the swearing-in ceremony spotted Sanders strolling into view with brown and white mittens detailed with a chevron pattern. The senator's outfit, coupled with his characteristically unbothered expression, instantly went viral online, according to the Burlington Free Press, which is part of the USA Today network. Even Sanders' colleagues chimed on Twitter. "I want mittens like ammo at Bernie Sanders," wrote Rashida Tlaib, Democrat representative from Michigan. So our lovely co-host Tara is showing you exactly what Bernie Sanders is wearing.
This is with the hands crossed, legs crossed, in isolation because they did, it's COVID and they had to separate everybody. Somebody said that he looks like he went into it like, I got stuff to do tonight. I might as well swing by Joe's thing first,
Like,
though.
I gotta go to the post office. I gotta go to Target. But like,
Yeah.
let me swing by this little Joe thing real quick.
Yeah.
Like, this was his part of his day, not his whole day.
Exactly.
He looks like he's just like so sad to be there. He's like, oh man, I really regret coming here. Like,
It's just, yeah.
Like I said, this was on his list. It's like, you're a grown man. Why are you wearing mittens?
I mean, whatever. Like
Like, nobody's
he's played it up.
Oh my gosh, no. But I mean, a lovely teacher knitted him the mittens. So it's kind of a sweet story because it was actually, let me actually give the woman her big ups because it's actually kind of cute the reason why he wore it. Again, in the article by USA Today, it turns out the coveted mittens are made in Sanders' home state of Vermont, according to Ruby Kramer of BuzzFeed News. She said, quote, on Twitter, "Bernie's mittens were made by Jen Ellis, a teacher from Essex Junction, Vermont," end quote, Kramer wrote on Twitter. Quote, "She gave them to him 2+ years ago and was surprised when he began wearing them on the campaign trail. They're made from repurposed wool sweaters and lined with fleece made from recycled plastic bottles." So, the story is kind of wholesome. A
Very.
teacher, it's just, shout out to Miss Ellis. Why did they have to be so big?
I don't know. I mean, your hands get cold. You want them to be like insulated.
It's a grown man wearing mittens. I'm sorry. I know, keep your hands warm, but it's just like, do you see how he's sitting?
Yeah. This is a look.
He's somebody's mother babysitting the kids playing outside.
He is. And shout out to Bernie Sanders also. Since this went viral, he's been selling like merch for charity with like this picture and stuff, and donated all the proceeds to like charities in the state he represents, which is Vermont. So shout out to him. But I don't know what this look is supposed to be.
It is a look.
I
Period.
don't.
It's a look. That's all you need to know.
And the internet, first of all, wasted no time in turning this into a meme. And second, they have not stopped. I've seen 2 full color tattoos of that.
You see, they dragged it. Why are you getting a tattoo of the band?
People dressed up as it. People dressed their pets up as it. Like, it's a lot.
That's
Terrible.
weird.
We got one more before we jump to the entertainment report. How do y'all feel about spinach?
Spinach.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
It's
I-
good for you.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
I don't mind. According to the IndiaTimes.com, my favorite part about this article is that it opens with a description of what spinach is. Spinach is a green leafy vegetable with all the goodness of iron, calcium, and other nutrients that help us stay healthy. But did you ever in your wildest imagination think that this leafy vegetable could one day send emails? Probably not. However, engineers have managed to train spinach plants to send emails. Engineers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have harnessed the knowledge of nanotech to convert mighty spinach into sensors that can detect explosive materials underground and warn users of the threat via email. This is possible using the roots of the spinach. They detect the presence of nitroaromatics, a chemical compound often found in explosives, in groundwater. Then the carbon nanotubes in the leaves emit a signal. The signal is read by a camera, which then fires off an email.
Nice.
When this started, when at the top of the story, I'm like, this is dumb. Like, this is dumb. And then, you get to the fact that it actually has a practical purpose of, like, keeping people safe.
Spinach.
Right on, spinach. Good for you.
I'm about to eat so much spinach.
To
Yeah,
celebrate it.
I want that in my body. Like,
You want to detect explosives?
yes.
Michael Strano, one of the lead researchers from the project, said plants are very good analytical chemists. They have an extensive root network in the soil, are constantly sampling groundwater, and have a way to self-power the transportation of that water up to the leaves. This is a novel demonstration of how we've overcome the plant. Okay, this last sentence is dumb. Mr. Strano, you are a very smart person, but this
We were just about to give you guys some credit.
I was just about to be like, you know what, shout out, this is, you all proved me wrong. And then you said, this is a novel demonstration of how we have overcome the plant-human communication barrier. Okay.
What was the barrier?
No, you're not. They're plants. First, you're using their properties to detect dangerous things. That's awesome. But then you made it come out here and make it sound like you're having a conversation with the spinach.
You made it weird, Strano.
You had to make it weird. Like, you're like, oh, me and the spinach were hanging out. And they told me, like, there was some stuff in the groundwater here.
You made it weird.
You didn't make it weird.
I can't wait for the revolution to be from vegetables, not robots. So we're all going to be taken over by vegetables.
Maybe we just pit them against each other
And then we just sit at home.
and watch.
Would you put? Let's see if somebody makes a movie about that, and then
Plants
we'll see if we
versus robots.
see we'll see it on the Rotten Tomatoes list, either best
it
or
would
worse.
be horrid. But like, I feel like it would be like Sharknado bad, but you would still watch it.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary. You know what? I'm gonna give our lovely man Thomas some time to talk because if I start talking about Sharknado, we're gonna be here till 10.
All right, cool. Thomas, what's up?
Hey, what's
Welcome
up?
back.
What's
Properly.
poppin', Thomas?
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. We thought we'd just talk about some music news and album release news. American rock band Foo Fighters will be releasing their 10th studio album, Medicine at Midnight, this Friday, February 5th. The album was originally scheduled for release last year, but was pushed back due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Foo Fighters released 3 singles ahead of the album's release, Shame Shame in November 2020, and No Son of Mine and Waiting on a War, both last month in January. Grohl claims that the album will be a really fun record filled with anthemic, huge sing-along rock songs, end quote, and has compared the upcoming record to David Bowie's album Let's Dance. The album was recorded in a large 1940s house in Encino, Los Angeles, with Grohl implying that the house was haunted, stating that the band would return to the studio and finding their guitars detuned, their mixing board settings all returned to zero, missing tracks, and new recorded tracks of just open mic noises that they didn't record themselves. In more release news, British rapper Slow Tie will also be releasing an album this Friday, February 5th. His highly anticipated sophomore effort, Tyron. Slow Tie began making music in 2015, but wouldn't achieve his breakthrough until 2019, when Slow Tie gained prominence thanks to his collaborations on Brockhampton's album Ginger and on the award-winning Tyler the Creator album Igor. The rapper also released his debut album Nothing Great About Britain that same year to critical acclaim. Slow Tie's music is categorized by his gritty, energetic vocal delivery, rough instrumentals, political lyrics, and often combining elements of hip-hop, grime, and punk rock music. Slow Tie has released 3 singles leading up to the release of Tyron: NHS, Feel Away featuring fellow British artists James Blake and Mount Kimby, and Mazza featuring American rapper A$AP Rocky. Tyron will contain a total of 14 tracks with additional features from artists Skepta, Dominic Fike, Denzel Curry, and Deb Never. And in tragic news, Scottish musician Sophie passed away this past Saturday, January 30th. Sophie Zion, known anonymously by the name Sophie, died in Athens, Greece after accidentally falling off a balcony. The electronic experimental pop artist made an impact on the pop music scene, with Pitchfork referring to Sophie as, quote, an influential British producer who molded electronic music into bracingly original avant-garde pop, end quote. NPR says that Sophie, quote, was a trailblazer who transformed underground dance music, melding the worlds of house, techno, trance, pop, and the avant-garde into something brazenly new and undeniable, end quote. In her career, Sophie collaborated with the likes of Charlie XCX, Vince Staples, Cashmere Cat, and Madonna. Sophie's 2018 debut album, Oil of Every Pearl's Onion Sides, earned the artist a Grammy nomination for Best Dance Electronic Album, becoming only the 3rd openly transgender woman to be nominated for a Grammy. At the time of her death, Sophie was 34 years old. And that's what I have for my music report. 2 weeks in a row, I had to report a death, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
On that streak.
We had the Six Dog news last week.
mm-hmm.
For none of the people listening heard that because we did a test broadcast last week where
No, you guys didn't hear that because you're not subscribed to our paid only service.
You're not on our OF. So, but we did a test broadcast last week, so where we ran everything.
Yeah, shout out to Billie Holiday.
Yeah,
shout out to Billie Holiday.
Shout out to my headphones for coming out, so I hope that didn't mess up that line.
Shout out to Billie Holiday. If you don't know, now you know. Yes, sir.
But I mean, on the positive note, that Foo Fighters album, though, I am fired up for it. I love the Foo Fighters. Amanda, you know, Amanda and Phil are even bigger fans of the Foo Fighters than me. I love that band. I've been lucky enough to see them live twice. They're amazing, and I cannot wait.
This is a Foo Fighters stan account, by the way. I'm a newbie here, but
that was the last buzz. That was the last buzz when we had like Dave Grohl updates weekly. It was fun, but
I just think it's wild that they recorded in a haunted house.
Yeah,
wild.
I wouldn't do it.
Foo Fighters stan account.
I also read another interview where Dave Grohl said like it was very different from the last album that they put out. Like after recording sessions, they would just have parties and cookouts after every day of recording. This time around, they're trying to get out of the studio as soon as possible. So,
right.
They're packing up and leaving. But that also he also mentioned that gave them more incentive to get better takes and better recordings as quick as possible.
To get it right the first time.
So
dip.
I also haven't followed Foo Fighters for the longest time, but I do know of their impact.
They're a solid band.
I do look forward to it.
They're solid. They're one of those bands that like I envy because they change with every album, but they're also really identifiable. Like it's never boring to me, at least. Like it's never boring, but it's also never the exact same thing, and I respect that a lot. You know, a lot of bands, I feel like either they just do the same thing over and over, or when they start to switch things up like randomly, and then they kind of lose their like essence. But I don't know. I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. And what's the name of the second album that's coming out? I'm sorry.
The second artist I mentioned?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slow Tie, and his album's Tyron.
Tyron, y'all.
That sounds good.
You guys listen to Slow Tie?
No,
but
but
that features list is no joke.
Slow Tie's great. I loved his first album, and I'm excited with the features. He's collabed with Denzel Curry before, and that song came out great. So I can't wait for this one.
I'm gonna check
Mhm.
him out. I'm definitely going to check him out. Well, I always get so sad when I only get to spend an hour with you all, but it looks like our time is near. You don't want me to start singing on here. You guys can't handle it. You can't get a free promotion.
Not ready. Fully not ready. But thank you, Matt, Thomas, Jazz, Amanda, boss of all things, Annabella. I've been Tara for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. More Morning Buzz tomorrow at 8. More shows during the week. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, y'all.